the team figure things out this year. Russ said, quote, "They've done things that they felt was best for our team, and I'll leave it at that." Meanwhile, Magic Johnson, he's talking a lot lately. He says the team is going to be hard-pressed to move on from Westbrook this offseason, and that maybe the purple and gold will be better off building around Russ. Shannon, that's a lot to unpack. What's your response to all that?
Building what around Russ? A wall so he can't get out and do damage to the team?
Yeah.
There's no possible way. Skip, you've just wasted LeBron James year 19. You mean to tell me that you're willing to bring Russ back and possibly waste year 20? You're not going to win with him. I'm not saying he's not a player that should be out of the NBA, but he needs to be on the Magic. He needs to be in OKC. He needs to be somewhere where there are no expectations of winning a championship. If there's expectations of winning a championship, Russ does not need to be anywhere involved. Russ refused to accept any accountability.
Refused. I've never seen anything like it before.
This is ridiculous.
Yep.
Skip, that's what coaches do. Coaches are supposed to try to do whatever they can to put the players in the best position. Russ still has not forgiven Frank Vogel for benching him late in fourth quarters, and he wasn't playing. He won't accept any accountability. It was his play that forced Frank Vogel to do that. And even the higher-up said, bench him if you feel this is going to help the team. And Frank Vogel was unwilling to do that because he knew you might as well just go ahead and cut him. If we do that, we're going to lose it. But for Russ to have this type of laissez-faire attitude, Skip, he just doesn't get it. And therein lies the problem. Russ thought this homecoming, L.A. kid, went to UCLA playing for the Lakers, a team that I grew up wanting to play for.
Yep.
He really thought this was going to be homecoming. No matter how bad I play, they'll forgive me because I'm the homie. That's not how Laker Nation thinks. They've seen too many great players, all better than Russ. Too many championship-winning teams, something Russ has never been a part of, to let you skate with your play to think that's going to be excusable to them. And so he has this sour taste in his mouth towards Frank Vogel and the Laker crowd. But, bro, it doesn't get any better because they want to win. They've seen winning basketball. They've seen championship-caliber basketball and players. And if you think you're going to come here, but I average a triple-double, and that's what I said, look, I'm not saying Russ is not one of the 75th greatest players. Okay, he is. Y'all can debate that. I'm not saying he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. What I got to do with this right now, though, Skip? Well, you know, Russ is used to having the ball in his hands. Okay. He ain't going to have the ball in his hands. You got to adapt. So what? You take the ball out of LeBron's hands? If he's a better player than LeBron, I say, bro, get that ball up. Russ better than you. Russ should be running the team. But he's not. But this notion that I'm going to leave it at that, oh, my goodness. Skip, this is ridiculous, Skip.
Okay, now I'm going to take Magic's shot at LeBron over wanting Westbrook over DeMar.
Right.
I'm going to take it one more level. What has Magic Johnson routinely said over the last year? Oh, Jeannie and I are still like brother, sister close. Right. We talk all the time.
Right.
I believe Magic was speaking out against LeBron from a position of strength with Jeannie because I think Jeannie is still angry with LeBron over Westbrook. I believe Jeannie sees that as we deferred to you. Rob and I said, okay, if that's who you want, if that's who you can win with, let's do it.
Right.
But now the anger remains, and it's become a point of pride with Jeannie, clearly to me, because they're viewing it as a 2-year mistake because you owe this man $47 million.
47.1.
For next year. So Jeannie is saying, I'll be damned if I'm going to give up my 2027 first-round pick for you, LeBron, to get out from under Russ, to undo your mistake, costing me 2027 when obviously you, LeBron, will no longer be here. And I'm sure Jeannie, knock on wood for her, hopes to be in charge in 2027.
Correct.
So the point is that Magic knows that Jeannie is still stung by all this. And Magic knows that after talking to Jeannie, that they don't see a clean way out of this.
There is none.
I don't know one, because unless you sweeten the pot by saying, would you do this? Because it was reported that at the trade deadline, Houston said, we'll do it. But you got to give us your 2027, and we'll take him, and we'll give you John Wall for what it's worth.
And Christian Wood. You got to take on Christian Wood also contract.
Okay. Well, I hadn't even heard that part of it. Was that part of it? Because he can play. Right. I mean, he could help. But I don't think John Wall could help very much.
They didn't want to go in the luxury tax. Okay. They're like, we're not going anywhere. I'm not going to the luxury tax.
Now that's another whole can of worms. The Bus family doesn't want to go in the luxury tax? Well, I don't know. I mean, there are parts of Winning Time, if you're watching on HBO, where they're in financial trouble. It's like...
Well, he was in financial trouble to buy the team.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Okay, so the point is, I don't see a clear way out unless you want to do that kind of deal where you take on luxury tax and you give up 2027. Right. It's the only way out from under. So Magic's just trying to be a realist and the Laker ambassador in Hollywood by saying, well, let's just figure it out. We still got LeBron, we still got AD, and we still got Russ, and let's mix and match again around them. Let's just change it all up around them and see if the new cast of characters, the supporting cast, can help lift their games up.
Right. So. Well, what was Skip? You remember last year, THT was untradeable. I don't believe he'll be that this offseason.
I mean, they said he was off the table.
Yeah, he was untradeable. No, you can't have him. Right.
Yes.
Because you could have had Kyle Lowry. They said, nope. He was an untradeable. I don't believe he'll be that in 2022. I believe he'll probably get traded because you got to get something.
Okay, and I'm sure the Laker brass, starting with Jeannie and Pelinka, also blame LeBron or maybe Clutch for that, because he's a Clutch client that LeBron has always spoken very highly of. And I saw it for a while, but I can't see it this year. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. Maybe he got paid and he relaxed. Because I think the thing is, that's what I admire. I think that's what you have to admire the most about the greats. When they make this exorbitant sum of money, they still KD still put the work in. LeBron still put the work in.
No doubt.
Steph Curry still put the work in. We see these guys get one little contract, make $30 million. Now I'm straight. I'm straight. Bro, LeBron and KD gonna make $300-400 million, and they still out there like they're trying to get their first dollar.
That is a fact. I would agree. Great ones are like that.
Yes.
We're about to talk about Tom Brady. He's still like that.
Yes.
Okay. Now back to Russ. How dare him? The other night, the afternoon, that they had lost to Denver, and he struts into the interview room because he just had his most efficient
27,
game.
10, and 7.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
He was very efficient. What did he have, a couple of turnovers?
Yeah,
I think he had
but not bad, not bad.
Not bad. He has a history of sort of closing strong wherever he is for whatever losing team. Okay, and he makes the statement about, they've done some things that they felt was best for our team, which he is not appreciative of. And he said, I'll leave it at that. Well, clearly, another shot at Vogel or the coaching staff.
Correct.
And I'm thinking, Russ, you just lost your 6th straight game.
Yeah.
You are, 4-16 since the All-Star break as a team, and you certainly contributed to 4-16.
Right.
How dare you go in there, throw your chest out and say, I showed them. No, you didn't show me a thing.
Right, and I saw Friday where you was 5 of 15 and had 12 points.
He shot a late air ball in that game from 3, and he's still bottom of the barrel. He is the worst statistical three-point shooter in basketball. He still leads in overall turnovers by 4 over Trae Young. He's still 3rd from the bottom in free throw shooting. How can you justify? How can you go in there and say, do you know who you're talking to? I'm Russell Westbrook. You used to be.
Skip, you know how Russ thinks as a professional like I thought in high school. The team beat us, but I beat them. I had a good game. I went for $150 and a touchdown. Oh, they beat us, but I beat them. That's how he thinks. As long as I have a good game, I ain't lose.
Yeah.
We lost, but I won.
Yep.
That's how his mind works.
I think he felt that in Oklahoma City after Durant left, and he felt it in Houston, and he felt it in Washington.
You hear what KD said? KD dropped 55 on an efficient night. He's like, I would prefer to get a dub. I mean, 50, he's like, I can score 50. I know I can score 50.
Yep.
But I'm trying to win. You see his mindset? Man, Russ been out there. Man, Russ had rose petals and everything around him if he dropped 55, even if they lost.
He had a couple of breakaway layups where he showed some explosiveness, like good old days explosion. Yeah. And the way he throws his chest back, and struts back up the floor. I'm like, Russ, do you know what's happening?
Just accept accountability. Yeah. That's what the great ones do. LeBron, be it KD, Steph, I got to play better. I need to play better. I'm not playing up to my level that I know that I can play at. That's what the great ones do. They don't blame no coaching staff.
Nope.
They don't look the place to blame somewhere else, talking about the crowd because they booed, because they say they called me out of my name. That's not what the greats do. And somehow he always flips it with a crowd, but I don't pay no attention to the crowd. Huh? The whole crowd, you don't pay any attention to them? I'm big on accountability, and I see none has been taken on his part.
Well, I'm afraid LeBron in year 20 is stuck with Russ. That's what I believe. That's what I believe.
So in other words, here we gonna be in 2022. So we're gonna be right back here April 5th, 2023, talking about the same thing.
But LeBron will be the all-time leading scorer.
That ain't got nothing.
Okay, I
guarantee you,
all right,
we gonna lose the game.
We gotta leave it there, guys. We gotta leave it there. Good stuff this morning. We got another spicy one coming up. Should Michael Jordan be ashamed?